Hi all and welcome to Sharing Sunday with me, Helen Armstrong, aka Panda Pops Crafting Joyful Moments. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator who loves sharing what I do. Today we will be using the Nature Symphony stamps set and dies, and there's some in paper and some embellishments to make a wonderful card. I've not put the sizes on any of the card that I'm showing you. Everything's in the description, which will be in this video. But before we do that, I'm actually going to use Sharing Sunday for sharing with you some of the things that I've been making recently in the last week. Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you is we have a new online exclusive release which is coming in March, and this is one of the stamp sets that's in it. I was drawn to it because I just love flowers and I thought the versatility of colouring in those flowers. So one of the things I did with this particular set, Flowers Fair, was to emboss. I don't know whether you can really see the raised bit, but I embossed it and then I coloured it in with pumpkin pie and peach pie colours, and then I used old olive for my leaves. It's just something that stands out. I will put this on a card and just put a sentiment on, and it's quite a simple make, but it is stunning when you make something with it. Keeping with that theme, with that Flowers Fair, I've used our current Cute as a Bug set. I stamped the bugs and coloured them in, and then I also matched the colours on the background of this Flowers Fair, just added a few little embellishments, but again, just a different way of using that set. Using the Nature's Walk this week, I've also been using our heartfelt hexagon heartfelt hexagon punch. Just creating a simple card. This was in our Simply Made Saturday card, which is on YouTube from yesterday. And I've also been putting some of our family memories down. I enjoy, some of you who've watched my videos before will know that I really love fussy cutting and cutting around the pattern paper. This was something I really loved doing. It's something I need to do more of because I'd like to have more of our memories on show. My idea is I'm going to put this in a frame and have maybe 3 or 4 frames up the stairs, and then just alternate and just take them out, put them back in a scrapbook album, and then alternate the pictures every so often, just so we have a changing scene, but it's memories that our family have made through the years. So yeah, that's something that I'm looking forward to doing, and I'll share more with you as that progresses. Right, so we've seen the Flowers Fair. Another March online exclusive which is coming is Cutest Crew. This has got some gorgeous animals on here, so if you are a dog fan, cat fan, or you know somebody who is, or even just somebody who likes birds, it's just so lovely, this set. You can't really see, but this set has got some gorgeous dies which will cut out these images here, but you also get some singular ones to cut out as well, so you can add further embellishments to your card. Another March online exclusive coming. Got the springtime scenes. I was drawn to this purely because of the leaves and the grass. Sentiments are lovely, but I was drawn to this because I'm thinking of layering things up together to make a card, which would be absolutely fantastic. I'm waiting on the dies for that set. We also have coming up Capturing Smiles. This is a beautiful one for scrapbooking, but also for card making. The first thing that drew me to this was the camera and this bit here. Making a mini album using this particular thing, which would be great with just smaller images for friends and family that they can add things to, add memories to. We also have in the March online exclusive is just this nice, gorgeous Rainbow of Thanks stamp set. Looking forward to using this. But also this next month, I'm going to be looking at the Sweet Book set that we have and using the dies from that. And I'm also going to be using something from our October online exclusive, which was our on display set. I've used it once, I think, and I'd like to make almost like a 3D project with this, so look forward to that. And I will also be using our January and March online exclusive Gliding Garden Swing. I keep wanting to say this is gilding, I can't get it out of my head, but today I've actually said it right, gliding garden swing. So look out for all these coming soon over the next few weeks. Okay, so back to what we're making today, and I have just realised I've moved everything and now can't find where I've put all the bits. There we go. Okay, so as I said, today we're going to be using our Nature Symphony set. Some of the embellishments that came with it. This is the faux bronze pentagons. They are very heavy, and I'm trying to decide, are these actually metal? I think they might actually be metal. We're using some of the Designer Series paper from the Nature Symphony suite. This has got some lovely Balmy Blue in that and some Night of Navy, but I'm not actually using Night of Navy as my mat. I'm using it's my favourite colour of the moment apart from the greens, Secret Sea. Okay, so let's get started. And how do we make this card? First of all, we're going to start usually with our card blank, which we have here. Oh yeah, please, whilst we're please can you leave me a comment below. I currently have my nails with what looks like almost old olive is the colour. Leave me a comment below of what colour you'd like to see my nails next month, just to change it up a bit. I was thinking of maybe picking out one of the blues, but let me know what you think. And I've just realised I haven't got my bone folder with me, but I'm just going to have to do it with my hand. Right, okay, so that's our card. We have, for this card, we have for the inside. So we have a matte and layer for the inside, and let me just get the other piece of card that I need. And we have a matte and layer for the outside as well. These are all going to be layered together, and you'll be interested to see how these do come along and look. Okay, I'll start with this simple version, then we will step it up one more before we go on further. If you notice, my voice is slightly better today than it has been recently. I think I'm finally getting over my cold. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed I'm finally getting over my cold. So I'm just going to get out the dies that we need for today, which is our big leaf die. And we're going to use the wood die today. And then stamp-wise, we are going to use our big leaf stamp. So I'm just going to peel that off. And we are also going to use You Make Me Smile. And we're also going to use our texture stamp. Okay. I've just realised I think I also need we need our little flowers, little leaves as well. Okay. What do we do first? We're going to take the inside layer of our card, and the first thing we're going to do is do some stamping. So I'm going to put our texture layer on here, and this may look really weird, but I'm only going to put this stamp on this part of the block. I'm also going to give them a quick clean before, because I realise I might not have cleaned them from the last time I used them, which is not very good. Always ensure that you clean your stamps. Don't do a Helen and not clean your stamps after use. The number of times I have actually gone and stamped on a project and it's made an interesting effect with 2 different coloured inks, but not the effect I wanted it. So yeah, always clean your stamps. Right, so we're using Balmy Blue today. This is a beautiful bright blue. And we're going to use a technique which is you stamp once and then you do the second impression. So I'm just going to ink my stamp up. So I'm just going to stamp in this corner here. So I've stamped once and then I've stamped again with the, it gives you a second impression, a much lighter image. Okay, I'm now also going to come in and I'm going to use our Secret C for this next bit. Just put my stamp over there. And I'm just going to pick up the edge of this. And I'm just going to come on and I'm just going to put that there. That's all I'm going to do. Before we do anything else, I am actually going to clean this one off and put it to one side. And remember to put it back in my kit. I actually have lost one of the stamps from this particular stamp set, and it's the one that I was going to use most, which is He's a Great Guy. So I'm actually having to order myself a new set of stamps, which is very annoying. So yeah, make sure, not like me, and you leave it. I don't know whether you're a messy crafter. I'm definitely a messy crafter, and I tend to leave things out and then I lose them. Yeah, not the best way to craft, but unfortunately that's how I do craft, and it's never going to change. Right, so we're going to layer this onto our Secret C layer that we've already got pre-cut, and this is going to be for the inside of our card. Apologies if I do not get this straight. It is very difficult when you're actually doing these type of videos. Okay, and then we're going to put it straight onto the inside of your card. So you can choose what kind of sentiment you want to put on the inside. You know, I like it actually when you just handwrite the sentiment, or you put one word or a couple of words, and then, you know, you do a really nice handwritten inside of a card. Okay, so there's our inside of the card. Now we're moving on to our outside. So the first thing we're going to do is mat and layer again. So we have, let me just double check what I'm doing here. Yeah, so we're going to mat and layer these and stick them on the top. So we'll be using our second piece, large piece of our Secret C. In the instructions it does say Night of Navy, but I'm using Secret C. So I'm just adhering that. Trying to work out which way I want it. I quite like it there. Actually, I'm going to put the lighter side at the top. Let's just have a play. You'll see why I'm doing this, because we're actually going to layer another layer on the top. Okay, I've not put that on straight. Take a lot more care and time than I do, please, when you're making your cards, to ensure they're straight. Okay, so I'm now just putting this layer. I could use our liquid glue. Let me just. Okay. I could use our Tombow liquid glue. It gives you slightly more wiggle room when it comes to doing things and adhering things to cards, which would have meant I could have shifted things around a bit more. But never mind. Right, okay, so with our second piece of basic white, this is what we're going to do. We are going to use our Stampin' and Emboss machine, and we are going, or any kind of die cutting machine, and we are going to cut out this leaf. Okay, you can have it anywhere you want to, but it sits better on this card, just at around about there. So we're going to do some cutting out, and we're also going to cut out the other bits and pieces that we need whilst we've got our embossing machine out. So let's bring that in. I'm just going to close that off for now. And I'll also close that one as well, the Balmy Blue. Okay, so we're bringing in our machine. Bringing in our cutting plates. So for this one, you have the sandwich of, you have your base plate, which is number 1, and then you have your top plate, your second plate, which is number 2, and then we have 2 3s. So you have the one that you're going to cut into, you can see where I've been cutting, and then we have your top plate. You can see from mine, it's very, very well used. I use it daily. That plate has been on the bottom for probably 6 months, I would say. Okay, so I'm going to cut out my Just make sure I'm cutting. Yeah, I want the darker side. So I'm using two-tone card for this, for cutting out some of the bits and pieces. But I want to have the darker side for on my crumb cake when I cut out the bark. And I'm just going to place that on there as well, just under there, so those three will get cut at the same time. And I'm going to run it through the machine. And I may as well cut out the extra little bits that we need as well. Let me just move that onto my lap for a second whilst we do deal with this. I just realised one of my hair is everywhere. My hair gets everywhere. I don't know anybody else who has long hair, but my hair tends to get everywhere. Okay, move that out of the way. I am going to ensure that we keep that little piece. I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to put this on, which is our Balmy Blue, and I'm going to... So we have one that we can use as well. I'm going to put that to one side. And I'm going to use our Balmy Blue, and I'm just going to cut out from the Balmy Blue one of our leaf pieces. And there we go. Almost thought I lost it. Cut another one of those out as well. From our Secret Sea. So we have our sandwich again, bring the machine in. That's moved, never mind. Put it through. Normally obviously I'd place it so I wasn't wasting any paper and card, because we all know how expensive that paper and card is currently. Okay, moving that back out of the way. Let's bring everything back in. I'm going to keep this because I can use this as a stencil. Had I thought about it, I could have used it as the same layer as the white one that we've got. Let's move the plates out of the way now. Don't need those anymore. Okay, so we have a white there, we've got some bits and pieces here. Put that in the bin. I'm going to use my scissors as a pokey tool, because as I say, still can't find my pokey tool, but I have now got one on order because they're back in stock. They have been out of stock for a while. But it's called our Take Your Pick tool. I keep calling it my pokey tool. It is called a Take Your Pick tool. And it has lots of other different ways apart from just poking things out. I miss having my adhesive. There's a little tip on it where it has some adhesive on, so you can quickly grab embellishments. I don't know why I put them away. I do need to put this one out. Okay. Probably take that off. Okay, so I'm looking, we've got some nice bits and pieces going on here. Just giving myself a little bit more space to work. Okay, so we're going to bring in our card. The next thing we're going to do is you can choose which way round you want to adhere it. I actually prefer it that way round, so I'm going to adhere it, but before I do that I'm going to do some more stamping on it. So this would be a simple card if you wanted to just do a very simple card, just with one die cut and some layering and a little bit of stamping. I mean, I say it's simple, it's not as simple, it's not as simple as just putting a sentiment on a plain piece of paper. I'm just adding a little bit more here. Okay. Now don't be, when you first stamp, you'll notice that it is a bit dark, but if you see what the difference is between that and that, they do, it does dry a little bit lighter. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do on that one. I'll move that to one side, and I'm now going to adhere it to our card, and it fits right over the top of that DSP. Okay, so I'm going to use my glue for this one, just for ensuring that we get some good adhesion onto the card, and it's just as easy, you know, it's a lot easier than trying to do it with a tape runner, this bit. Don't have to put it all the way to the edge because this glue does spread quite nicely. It's quite nice thin glue. Okay. Okay. I managed to get glue on it and I don't know how, but there we go. So I'm just going to, oh, I've moved it. That's how. Okay, press down. So if you were just, if you know, what you could do is you could put your sentiment on the bottom here, and that would be a beautiful, beautiful card for anybody, and they would absolutely love it. We're just going to take it that little bit one step further. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I've just realised I do not have my ribbon with me. I was about to say the first thing I'm going to do is do some blending with my inks, but yes I am, but also I don't have my ribbon. So this card is going to be made without the ribbon by the looks of it. Sorry everybody. First of all, I'm going to do a little bit of blending, a little bit of colouring. So I'm just going to pick up, we've got Crumb Cake here. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit and just add a little bit of dimension to this. It just, if you pick up the edges of it, can make bits darker than others. So I'm going to just make these edges a little bit darker. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to pick up another blending brush, and I am actually going to add a little bit of our Balmy Blue to the white and also the blue. I'm just checking. I have over the last few days tried to clean my brushes, some of my blending brushes, and some of them, you know, it's worked quite well with some, others not so much. Again, I'm just adding a little bit of colour. Obviously I know leaves aren't normally blue, but this is keeping in colour with what we're doing on our card. Just add a touch more. You can pick up as much or as little colour as you want. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Whilst we've got that out, I'm going to add a little bit to some of these ones as well, just to give a little bit of variation. I showed something earlier on this week where I laid this down, this dye down, onto a piece of paper. Just, it was a piece of olive green, and I went over the top with olive green. And I don't know whether you can see, but if you could cut a die cut, or you could use that, and you would get the white image or the clean image below. And it's just a nice way of creating your own paper, and it's another way of using your dyes as well. Okay, so we now can do some layering, and then we'll do our sentiment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this, and I think I'm going to just place it just about here so we can still see below. This one here, I'm going to use the tape runner. Okay, and I'm actually going to do it so it comes slightly over that border edge there. I think it just lifts it slightly. Okay, next we are going to start layering with our leaves. I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm just going to snip into this white one. I'm just going to see where we're going to layer these things. I quite like that there. Every card will be different because everybody will decide where they're going, a different place to place their leaves. Okay, I'm just playing at the moment before we add our little bits and pieces, before I stick them down, should I say. Okay. Just going to add a little bit of something down here. Do I need a little bit more blue over here? Excuse me while I'm playing. Not sure, but I think what I might do is I can lift it. Right, okay. Lifted the whole thing off now. Let's just add to it. Add some of our sticky. One thing I have to be careful with this particular die is that it does come apart. Let's just have a look at our placement now. I think that needs to go up a little bit. You get a much better way of doing this than I'm quickly doing it. Take your time. Look at where you want to layer things. So, weather update here in the United Kingdom is that it has been a little bit chilly and very wet, unfortunately. Yeah, very wet, but compared to what other countries are facing at this moment in time when it comes to the weather, I think we're getting off quite lightly. It's supposed to get a little bit colder over the next few weeks, but just as wet, unfortunately. Hopefully that, for me, that would normally mean if we're getting colder and it's wet, we would get some snow, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I know this sounds terrible, but I do envy all of those of you that live in countries that get snow, and I know some of it can be awful and it can cause massive issues for you. But I do love the snow. Okay, let's just add a little bit of dab of glue just to stick these down. Just be very mindful when you've got using the glue with these leaves, because there are holes. Okay. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of glue. I say tiny bit of glue, that wasn't a tiny bit of glue, was it? Okay. Learn by my mistakes. Okay, I'm happy with how that is looking now. Yeah, I'm happy with how that looks. I would probably, if I could, bring that piece back down into there, which I have. Right, okay. Very happy with how that is looking, and I will keep these little bits for my next card. Please don't ever throw these bits away. I do have a little folder where I keep all my little bits, and they do come in very, very handy if you just want a quick embellishment on a card. So the last thing we need to do for this card is to do our sentiment. And for this one, we are using You Make Me Smile, again from the Nature's Symphony stamp set. And let me just put my glue on. So we're going to be using our Secret C to stamp the sentiment, just to join everything in. As I say, this is my go-to now. Well, we say orange is the new black. It's Secret C is the new black for me. Quick dab. Quick on and off. You don't need to press down. You just need a quick on and off. Okay, and now I'm going to quickly fussy cut round this. Again, you will take a lot more time and care than I am over this. Do you notice how I'm moving the card rather than my scissors? Best way to do it when you're fussy cutting. My scissors predominantly stay in the same place, and I just turn the card. So it's up to you how much of a border you want to leave around the lettering. Okay, you make me smile. I do like that. So we're on the very last part. We're just adding our sentiment, and then that will be us done. So to add the sentiment, I am gonna I think I might put it on some dimensionals. So I'm just gonna quickly add some dimensionals. I say quickly add some dimensionals. It's not happening very quickly. Again, I could really do with my take your pick tool. When you have, you know, you think long nails, oh great, you can pick things up very, very quickly and easily. Yeah, and then, but it's not as easy as it looks when you have long nails to do things. It's great for peeling things off, obviously. But I do, it's one of my things that I love. I was going to say it was one of my one and only vice. It certainly isn't, because I would say almost emptying my bank account every month with crafting things. But having nice nails does it. Makes me smile. Now, what have I managed to do here? My hands are dirty, and I've managed to get something on there. So what can we use to cover that up? You know what? I'm going to bring in some leaves from the side to cover that up. Again, learn by my mistakes. Let's put some tape on there instead quickly too. And get my tape runner working. So I'm just going to position it where I think I'd like it. I don't want both on. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And I'm just going to trim. Trim, trim, trim. There we go, covered up my mistake. Okay, last thing we are going to do is add some embellishments. I did say the last thing was adding the sentiment, but actually the last thing is adding a couple of embellishments just to lift the card. Put one down here. One up here. And a smaller one, I think, just here. Okay. So that is it. That is the card using, again, our Nature's Walk suite, where I put it somewhere on the floor. Yes, I do. Right, so this is using the Nature Symphony dies and stamp set. Okay. Within this, you also get, there is a scrapbooking page you can get in kit, and there's also this Exploring Nature set, which works well with it. But yeah, so Nature Symphony dies and stamp set. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And yes, please come back again and we'll share some more next Sunday. Thank you for sharing your Sunday with me. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Lots of joy.